Hey, it's KDot204. I'm kicking it with WPGHipHop. Winnipeg.
Okay, so KDot, I know you've been all over Manitoba. You've moved a few times, been in a few different towns and cities, but you were born in Winnipeg, right?
Yeah, originally I grew up in Winnipeg here in the south end. I've kind of been all over the map, as you said. I didn't have a father growing up, so I was just with my mom. We were kind of moving place to place. I moved to Nepal when I was about 7 years old. My aunties, uncles, grandma, grandpa, all that, sort of stuff was there for me growing up. But then my mom kind of had her own problems, drinking, doing drugs, that sort of stuff. So I actually ended up in a foster home, ended up back in Winnipeg. Brother and sister stayed there, so I kind of didn't really have a family around, I was kind of in and out of foster homes, group homes, hotels, if you can believe it or not, sleeping in a hotel overnight, different hotel the next day. I actually ended up in an old center. It was like almost like a permanent residence. They locked the doors and shit. It's almost like jail, but it wasn't. It was like a weird place, man, and for growing up as a kid, it's like, being taken away from just the normal things of life, being able to have a family around and do those sort of things wasn't there for me. So I started hanging around with, kids that were troubled as well, came from families that were, in the same situation. So I started getting into trouble, sneaking out, running away, stealing cars, doing that sort of stuff, just, being young and dumb.
And that sounds like a pretty hectic life for a kid. When did the music and when did the hip-hop really come into play for you?
Being in prison and having the downtime basically gave me, the time to write. I would cry sometimes. I would write stuff, and, it meant so much to me that it would bring me to tears, and that's kind of where it started for me. I would play guitar and get a cassette and record myself, with a guy beatboxing and just that sort of thing. So that's kind of where it started. I wasn't taking it serious because I was obviously in jail, so I couldn't, get out and perform. But I always had the dream of when I did and got my life back on track, that's what I would want to do, and that's what I'm doing now.
You're coming out with a mixtape very soon. You're calling it Push and Pull. Does push and pull have any kind of relevance to all of these things that have happened throughout your life?
Push and pull kind of describes what my life has been in a nutshell. I mean, push being, succeeding and going forward, and, pull being pulled back and, having to deal with life, having to kind of sit down and say, where's my life going? I mean, growing up for me, it was pretty hard. I mean, going from foster home to foster home and, doing drugs and not having any really stability in my life. I never had people to say right from wrong. And, I'm not trying to blame that on anybody or, it was my decision ultimately, but, I didn't have anybody to help me make the right decisions and point out those sort of things. I mean, by being in jail and, I did a lot of drugs. I smoked crack. I'm not embarrassed to say it. It's raw. It's the truth, and
So the push part of it is kind of you coming out of that, or at least trying to push yourself away from all of that stuff.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's still a struggle every day. I mean, a lot of people look at me and I tell my story, and they're like, "Man, you're lying to me." You know what I mean? You're never in trouble. Like just my appearance, and I don't try to make it that way or try to hide anything, but a lot of people don't believe that that's what I went through, or and it kind of. It inspires me more to actually, want them to understand.
You recorded it here in Sonny Daze's studio where we're actually shooting this interview right now. So how was it working with Sonny Daze?
Working with Sonny was a great experience, actually. At first, I reached out to Sonny. I sent him a song, and I mixed and mastered it myself, and it was chopped up to crap. I mean, it was garbage. He was probably like, who the hell is this kid? I mean... but he out of respect, messaged me back and said, listen, maybe the quality's not the best, or, straight up raw, he told me the truth, and that's what I needed to hear, and said, but I hear, the talent that you can, you possess, and I hear your story, man. You have a good story to tell. He would critique me. He would stop me and say, listen, do this. He would help me switch words up just to hit the bars better and, tell me this sounds better, or, you know what I mean? He helped me grow as an artist by just supporting me and, giving me the best that I can be for sure.
How's the battle scene treating you?
Battling's been pretty good. I mean, I lost my first 2 battles. I faced Hobbs, Sputnik. I thought I should have won. Just the technicalities of my bars compared to his and just my style. I thought, I believed I should have won. I don't know if it's the judges, whatever. I'm not going to say, maybe it's biased. I don't know. Next question.
Okay, well, to be honest with you, man, I don't have any other questions. It's been a great time interviewing you. Hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Yeah, cool, man. Shout out to WPGHipHop for having me here.
Thanks a lot.
Great time.
Okay, guys, so that was KDot. Make sure you grab a copy of his mixtape, Push and Pull. He's releasing it Tuesday, July 29th. It's going to be available on his Bandcamp page. If you didn't know, we recently featured KDot at one of our Heads Up events. And if you don't know what Heads Up is, you should probably check it out. July 19th, we're at an all-new venue, Le Garage Cafe on Provencher Boulevard. Same great vibes, just a bigger venue, better sound, great food. Make sure you come hit us up. Once again, my name is Swing Adam. This is WPG Hip Hop. We're bridging the gaps of rap.